Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about photosynthesis. Now, photosynthesis is a compound word divided into two parts. We've got photo, which means light, and we've got synthesis, which means to make something. So just by looking at the word, we know we're going to be talking about using light to make something. We know that plants use photosynthesis to make their own food, but we might not know how. So plants start with water, light, and carbon dioxide, and they use those things and they can convert that into molecules of glucose. Now, glucose is a type of sugar. It is a type of energy source, okay? Organisms that can make their own food are called autotrophs. They're autotrophic, okay? They're not only plants. There are other organisms that can make their own food, but plants is what we're going to focus on in today's lesson. You'll need to know that photosynthesis is the process where plants use those starting pieces, those reactants, that carbon dioxide, that water, and the energy that they get from the sun, okay, and they convert that into sugar or glucose for the cell. Photosynthesis happens in the chloroplast of plants. Okay, remember we talked about that organelle last time. Photosynthesis happens in the chloroplast of plants and other organisms that make their own food. Okay, we're also going to talk a little bit about cellular respiration. Cellular respiration is the process where cells convert that glucose, that sugar, into energy that the cell can actually use, and this is called ATP. ATP is the energy that the cell can use. Okay, cellular respiration happens in the mitochondria. So remember, photosynthesis happens in the chloroplast, cellular respiration happens in the mitochondria. Okay, so let's take an overview of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis, remember, is where plants make their own food and they use energy from the sun and carbon dioxide and water to make a sugar. So here we can see that we've got one molecule of carbon dioxide, and we've also got one molecule of water. We take those together, and along with the sun's energy, we can create a reactant or a product from those reactants that are sugars, okay? So we've got one molecule of sugar has 6 carbons in it. Look at that. It's got 6 carbons in it. We only started with 1 carbon and we come up with 6. Okay, just by looking at this formula, you would know that we're not able to use just one molecule of carbon dioxide and one molecule of water to come up with a sugar. Okay, so just like in math, sometimes both sides of the equation need to be balanced. So here, you'd have to figure out a way to make both sides of this balanced, meaning we have to use coefficients, which are those big numbers in the front of our molecules, to make there be 6 carbons on this side of the equation here to make it balanced, okay? We'll talk a little bit more about that in another lesson. So part 1 is the light reaction, and this part does require sunlight. So plants absorb energy from the sun, and that light energy splits the water molecule that's already inside the chloroplast. After that water molecule splits, some of it is going to be released back into the surrounding air, but the hydrogen part of that water molecule is going to remain behind. So the water molecule has been split so that it can be recombined and converted into glucose, okay? Otherwise, the plant is not going to be able to use it. This is a demonstration here, a kind of graphic that would help illustrate it for you. We've got the chlorophyll here in the chloroplast inside the leaf, right? Inside the plant. The plant is going to be able to use the energy from the sunlight and water, and as well as carbon dioxide. But inside the chloroplast here is when the water molecule goes in, right? It's going to be split once it's there. So the O2 is going to be released back out into the surrounding atmosphere, but the hydrogen is going to stay inside the cell inside the chloroplast and then convert it into glucose. This way the plant can use the energy. Okay, so then we've got a dark reaction. All this means is that the sun is no longer required. It does not mean that it has to happen in the dark. It just means you don't have to have sunlight anymore. And here's what will happen here. Hydrogen helps to make the ATP molecules that provide energy. Carbon dioxide from the air, which we have exhaled, okay, is combined with hydrogen to make glucose, and that's a simple sugar. So those are the two parts of photosynthesis, the light and the dark reaction. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.